And this year is a repeat of this time last year. Hello, today is June 28th, 2021, and the time is 5:15 p.m. And today has been extremely hot, and it's supposed to get even hotter throughout the week. Something I'm not looking forward to. You just think several months ago, minus 40 Celsius, which is minus 40 Fahrenheit, to now pushing plus 40 Celsius, which is pushing 104 Fahrenheit, from one extreme to another. Before I begin with this video, I just wanted to say thank you to those people who reached out to me after my last video. Thank you. Making sure that I'm okay and whatever. So I just wanted to thank you. Now this video is going to be longer than what I originally anticipated, because after I'm done talking, there's going to be a section where I'm going to be showing screenshots, and then there's a middle part to that where I'm offering some audio samples, and the audio samples ended up being a little longer than what I really wanted, but I want to show a lot of the samples so you can understand what was being said about me was false, or make your own conclusion about that. And what all this really boils down to, this whole, as a descriptive, this partial disability assistance that I was getting was cut off a year ago, was really based on a false accusation. And then you'll see the person that I was dealing with ended up making their own false accusations. And when you really think about why my life is where it is now, putting aside the backstory, it's about a false accusation followed by a series of others. There seems to be a pattern in today's world with false accusations where people are just carelessly making them about anyone on any topic. It's just nonstop. And then you compound that with paranoia and everything else that's just infected society. It's the world we live in. The contents of this video are in another video I uploaded in October 2020, but as with other videos I uploaded, I did not make public yet. This video is a remastered version. The punchline to the following is towards the end. This time last year, when my partial disability through welfare was terminated, I began my appeal. I made a request through the Freedom of Information to access my file. It took time, but I eventually got it. The following are samples of what I uncovered, but I have not shared everything yet. Looking at what I highlight as number 1 and 2, I'm deemed employable in respect to my education and career history. However, the wrongful conviction prevents me from obtaining employment and such. Most other employment also requires a criminal record background check. I am not employable for physical type work. My medical injuries and other health issues have become worse over the years. Number 3 and 4 is based on my doctors verifying I have post-traumatic stress from the May 4th, 2013 event. This person who is not a medical doctor begins to give his opinion on this. Number 5 is true. However, when I was at the hospital in May 2013 and visits after, a mental health so-called professional did say I have post-traumatic stress from the event. As well, I am able to recognize the symptoms. Number 6, I never stated or implied anything about not being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. I can review the recorded telephone conversations I had with him to confirm this. As I stated, I was assessed on May 5th, 2013 and the months that followed with post-traumatic stress by people in that industry. I was offered and refused any alleged medications to cope with it. Number 2, he begins with the assumption that an alleged professional in the liberal arts theoretical pseudoscience of psychology can diagnose anything. The Rosenhan experiment tells the opposite. Despite this, medical professionals did diagnose me with post-traumatic stress. Number 3 and 4, he dismisses 3 surgeon reports, physiotherapy reports, doctor reports, all saying there is no treatment of any kind to stop my hands and wrists from deteriorating over time, to the point of no use. Surgery outside of Canada was my best option years ago, with a 50-50 chance of slowing the deterioration. I have had minimal use of my hands, mostly my right hand, since May 4th, 2013. Number 5, as he continues to try to discredit me by doing mental gymnastics. What he is talking about is the copy and paste I sent him, showing the timeline of events from 2012 to 2019. The same version I posted in my group. The same version I added to over the years as events took place. The same version I had the luxury of time to draft out when my hands were able to, using my thumbs. This screenshot shows the copy and paste file on my phone, which he assumed I drafted in the 20 minutes it took me for me to email him. Number 6, he shares his alleged opinion that I am able to find work in many areas. I'm not going to reiterate the obstacles with my trying to find employment over the years, and now. Number 7 is where things start to become interesting. My style of conversation. Again, this can be challenged with the audio recordings I made when speaking to him and others. Here are some random examples from one very long conversation he is referring to show my tone.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, thanks, Anthony. I'm just going to get into the system here for you.
Okay, now I sent you a couple of emails, one last night. I guess they changed their hours. They close at 4 now.
Okay, I saw the emails this morning. Did you drop the documents off at the doctor's office, were you meaning, or at this office?
No, I was dropping it off at the doctor's office.
Okay, but don't you have to be present for this?
For which?
For the medical examination.
I just dropped it off, and I'm sure his office will contact me to set that up.
Okay, all right. Okay, can you send me the doctor's name then in an email there? Okay.
Okay. And I sent you another email this morning showing that I did drop it off. The receptionist signed it.
Okay. Okay, just let me see here.
I dropped it off first thing this morning, just before trying to call you at 9 o'clock.
Okay, so did they sign this on the top from what I'm seeing here?
Yeah, yes, they did. I had the receptionist sign it.
Okay. All right. Okay, all right. And it doesn't look like you really had an employability assessment done in the past. You've had some service needs determination. So really what this is, it goes through a number of different areas, such as your essential skills, work search. Yeah, well, we need to have an update on things. I think your situation has changed somewhat here. So,
how has it changed? How has it changed?
Well,
yeah, I left practicing law as agent 2009. 2010, I had a couple of offers to prosecute again, and some in-house stuff, and then I did a complete career change right after that to get into into this new career field. And that's so by 2012 I did go to school for that, finished that up, and then that's when I came out here to start a new life, which ended up being a nightmare.
All right.
But
Skills.
this post-traumatic stress just has me on edge a lot since this happened to me in May 4th, 2013. What's edgy is just being, I guess the fear is being falsely accused again. That's a big fear that I've been trying to cope with. If that makes any sense.
Okay, I understand that. All right.
Because it totally destroyed my life. Criminal record checks have become such mainstream now. It's actually ridiculous. I don't even understand. That's been my biggest hurdle. And I try to explain it, but as I told you yesterday, people just don't seem to care. You know, people just see the official narrative that there's a conviction. They assume that it's a proper conviction. They don't understand. Most people don't even understand law. Convictions, and as soon as you say assaulting a police officer and obstruction, people are like, "Oh well, you know, if you can do that to a cop, well, you know, what can you do to an employer?" And it's like, no, it never happened.
So you talked a little bit the other day about leaving Alberta. Do you have a plan to leave, or?
I just have to and want to get out of not only Calgary, but Alberta. Do I have a plan? It's hard to make a plan. A few people have lost their careers, and the last I heard, even the criminal trial judge, his career has been compromised because of my efforts. It's because of my knowledge, my working knowledge of law, that I knew exactly what was going on and how to deal with it. And I didn't make too many friends, so I've recorded some of these events where I've been told since just January, where I've been advised to leave as soon as possible.
Changing your situation, just looking at other options that may provide you with a career path. Are you doing any research on a daily basis? What does it look like for you?
As I said, I've spent 7 years with the aid of educated friends trying to find a solution that I can, regain my independence and start moving forward with life. And even with a collective network of educated friends and lots of thought on my part over the years, if there's an opportunity, I'll see if, I'll go for it. And again, we're dealing with the criminal record thing. And I have no capital. I have in business doing what? There's what am I going to start a business of? And I have nothing to start a business with. It was different throughout my life, where I didn't have criminal records, and two former officers did all this database nonsense. And then after that, I even had the one doctor refuse to treat me. I deserved it. Deserved it. No. I had him put it in writing, filed a complaint, and then filing complaints, I guess ticks people off even more. And anyway, that's a different tangent, but
when this medical is done, and sooner rather than later, I need to have that information on that medical, okay? Sure. That's in your best interest. It's not in mine, okay? I'm not telling you this because I want it that way.
I dropped it off this morning, and I made an attempt yesterday, so I'm moving as fast as humanly possible.
Okay, Yeah. No, I understand that, but I'm trying to reiterate to you, for me to be able to support you, I need to see that information.
Yeah.
Paper by a doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
That's simply put. Okay.
Yeah. Now, as I said, I went through all this before, and that's why they said, that, I got approved, and then...
Because I don't think you've ever provided a medical in the past that I can see anywhere.
I have.
Have you?
Absolutely, I have. I spent months when all this started, going back and forth, going to your office there. You guys are
you trying to take good care of yourself, or
I guess,
has this become too much of a challenge?
Rest is, over the years, I guess, with all the trauma of injustice, literally, I don't sleep well at night. Yeah, literally, I could be up all night and stuff like that. I try to push myself to maintain, some sort of sleeping habit, but just over the years, just the injustice had compounded, just pounded me into the ground, and try to work it through. But I have a lot of nightmares of May 4th, 2013 that keep reoccurring, because I was almost shot and killed.
It's needing development, because I'm not sure what things you can actually do at this point. Okay, your work experience, I think, is satisfactory. You have obviously a fairly professional background. It's really a matter now of, is there some way to transfer your skills to other areas that may benefit you? So this is not what I normally do. What I normally do is job placement for individuals.
Yeah.
And I've got employers who say, don't bring me somebody that's 35 or 40 years old. I want somebody who's 50 or older. And with that in mind, I've placed people from 50 to 74 years of age.
What kind of job?
So, there are a number of things that people can do, and there are employers who want mature workers. So,
I'm not saying that there's an impossibility. I did not say to imply that there's an impossibility with my age. I'm just saying my experience. I did experience that, and I'm like, wow. Okay, so I'm not throwing that in as an absolute. I'm just saying, I did experience that.
Who were you working for then, Anthony?
There's a place called Place. Have you heard of them?
Place? Oh yeah, I know Place are downtown. We've done a number of projects down there.
Well, let me tell you something about. But when I first started working there, and I'm going to name names because I've done affidavits to all this with Alberta.
Get something to me in the form of a medical, here the better.
As I said,
benefits.
I dropped it off this morning, and now it's out of my hands. So as soon as the doctor wants to fill stuff out or meet with me or whatever he needs to do, then I'll be...
So what's the name of the clinic then, Anthony? There.
I forget what... It's on the picture. One of the first picture I sent you yesterday. The name of it's right there.
Let me just see here. Okay. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay, so this is what's perplexing me now, because after all these years, all of a sudden now, none of this is on file, and as you're calling it, the coding is different. So this is what I don't understand.
Well, neither do I. I mean, something is awry here, and all I'm trying to do right now, to be honest, is
understand it.
put the information in place so it's there and it can be reviewed, because I can't see anything at this point that suggests.
I'm just trying to think, maybe about 4 months ago now, out of the blue, he had suspended my benefits and cut me off, and then I had to get some medical reports, which I did. Excuse me. And then he completely dismissed everything, and then he's requesting more information, which he already has answers to, as well as when I had said, well, you know, I'm going to be appealing what his decision is. He's still maintaining, like, I haven't received August benefits, which has completely threw my whole life upside down. I complied. He rejected it. He knows he has the answers that he's looking for, and he's asking for stuff that he knows that, based on one of our original conversations I had with him, and I don't know exactly what to do. I made many contacts with, I forget her name now off the top of my... He said he won't entertain appealing his decision until I comply with his requests, and then we're back in. You're just talking in circles, and he wouldn't. For example, he wouldn't accept the medical reports of my permanent injuries, for example, to my hands, and I have a long time ongoing issue with my respiratory system. Like, in her voicemails, which I still have copies of, she was perplexed, I'm perplexed, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm waiting for some information from your offices before I put together a full and proper appeal. But in the meantime, I'm
most recent medical you submitted, I would reopen your file because it does say permanently unable to work. So we wouldn't necessarily need to go down the route of, you know, what are you doing to find employment if your doctor's stating that you're unable to find employment.
What did he just say? Implying that I'm not in Alberta? Who would have told him this, and why? Rhetorically asked. Now that you heard my demeanor while talking to this guy, tell me if what he wrote is not a false accusation. False accusations, the story of my life. Just like the rhetorical who and why claimed I am not in Alberta. But let's break down his allegations. My being edged, if remotely true, could be a normal state when someone is under stress when a lifeline is being threatened. My allegedly being hostile, I wasn't hostile as you can hear, but given the benefit of doubt, rebutting accusations or telling things how they are could be interpreted as hostile by snowflake types. My being in control, aside from his appearing to project his personal issues on me, perhaps feeling inferior, something I address in a few videos over the years when beta and omega types are given artificial authority over an alpha type, he could be realizing he has nothing on me. I don't know. His comment, which may have been part of his approach with the medical exam process. Clearly he is making an assumption, thus an opinion based on who knows what. He is not absolute about his conclusion when he says, may have been. But moreover, he is insulting the medical professionals further by implying they are easily manipulated. pushovers. This could be why he dismisses medical reports. After my Freedom of Information request and telling his supervisor of all this, I was told they are not medical professionals to circumvent medical reports. They said they have no idea why he was doing what he was doing, cutting me off after all these years. So my appeal has been pending for the past year, and now I'm back to square one. The little needed money to cover the few monthly expenses I have, gone. Not shared yet is what, or rather, I say who, triggered all this for me and how. That's in queue. This is the same type of thing other so-called professionals who dealt with my criminal matter did to me when they made uninformed conclusions based on nothing, only wanting to discredit me so when I sought help, no one would. Putting into print, I mimic a pedophile grooming a child regarding the female who falsely accused me, a male co-worker, and other males. Keeping in mind, no underage people were involved, and her diagnosis being high anxiety and pathological liar, among other things like animal abuse. The guy I highlight in this video also put his accusations in print, so when I seek help, no one will. Will sharing this help me? No. But it supports what I'm going through and shows how corrupt the system is. So now you can make your own conclusion about this video's example of false allegations and how everything just spins out of control and how it destroys people's lives. It really impacts people's lives like mine. Why I have to be a victim of false accusations nonstop is beyond me. Perhaps because I really don't do anything bad as a descriptive, that things have to be made up for whatever reason by whomever or even whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.